When Alana and I were first dating in high school in the beginning stages, a lot of the things we'd end up doing together involve children. So we actually both were lifeguards and taught swim lessons to kids, actually taught a lesson together a few times, which was interesting, and also did some outreaches. So in Taiwan, we had a lot of trips we'd go to in groups, and we were both in a group that went to Malaysia and went to orphanages, and we were working with kids a lot. So a big part of kind of what we enjoyed about hanging out with each other was actually being with children. I realized that she was far and beyond anyone that I had met in uni, so I actually decided I wanted to propose, and we got engaged. Moved to New Zealand just in time to quickly plan a wedding, and we got married 3 months after I moved to New Zealand.
After being married for 2 years, Jeff and I decided that we'd like to start our own family and start having kids. After trying for a year, we wondered what was wrong, so we went to our GP, and then we found out that I had polycystic ovaries and endometriosis. So we started on some hormonal drugs to help me ovulate, and those rounds didn't work. And so then we thought, we'll have the surgery to help get rid of some of the cysts. After 3 years of trying, and we felt like we had exhausted everything except for IVF, we decided to just take a pause and let my body recover, and so we stopped.
It was tough. Yeah, so the feeling was really, it was painful, but painful in the same way as you're watching someone you love in pain, which is a different kind of pain, but it still was a really hard thing to go through.
We knew we were going to become parents. We just didn't quite understand how that was going to happen and what God's plan was for us. So we thought maybe adoption.
There's not a lot of children that are adopted in New Zealand, so just that process ended up being we're just on another waiting list. A couple times it looked like it was going to happen, but we just were never chosen, and it was another painful part of the process. So while we were doing adoption for the 2 years, we were saving the whole time, hoping that we would be able to get enough in the bank to do IVF, since it was really expensive and we couldn't get funded. We ended up doing it, and it actually worked the first time.
However, she said, your levels are really low, so it probably means you'll miscarry. So hearing that was like, we're pregnant for the first time ever, so exciting, but then no, you're gonna lose the baby. It's like, how does that feel? But we just kept believing that God would give us a miracle, and that even with a low blood count, a baby can come from that. And so we were holding on to that our baby's going to survive. Sadly, the baby didn't survive, and we miscarried at 7 weeks.
As humans, we like to have things in control and to time things to exactly our liking. And the one thing that we kind of have seen through this season is that you actually experience a part of God in the pain and suffering. And that timing that he put us through to get to the end result was just as important as getting there, I think.
After 5 years of trying to have a baby, we got a call from the nurse saying that we were beautifully pregnant. It made the waiting and the heartache so worth it when I finally got to meet our daughter for the very first time and have her on my chest and just look up at me, and I knew it had all been worth it, and I was her mom.
Just as we'd always hoped, life now with a little girl is crazy. We have a little girl that saved up all her energy to just run around, and she just keeps us very busy, but it's wonderfully busy. The pain and suffering made me realize that also is a part of being human. We kind of like to shy away from pain, and we always like to be trying to avoid the painful times, but actually that's just as important, and allowing that to shape us as well.